If you're trying to heal your nervous system, you've probably been handed a giant list of tools. Things like meditation, supplements, cold plunges, breathwork. And my guess is, if you're like me, you probably tried them all and you still feel like garbage. When nothing works, most people just decide that they are the problem. They are broken, they are too far gone, or that they're just doing it all wrong. So I'm going to explain the 3 real reasons why your nervous system won't regulate. They have nothing to do with what tool you choose. If nervous system regulation tools don't work for you, there's a really good chance your nervous system is sensitized rather than just dysregulated. If you aren't sure, I have a quiz that you can take and I will link that in the description. But a quick way to understand it is it's like a smoke alarm that has become very sensitive to the point where it's going off anytime you even make toast. But the truth is that nothing is on fire. The system is just miscalibrated. And the symptoms are signs of the alarm, not the damage. And almost everything we're doing to feel better actually is cranking up the alarm. So here are the 3 big ones. The first one is you're fighting your symptoms instead of supporting yourself. Energy is really important when it comes to the nervous system, and the energy of fix this, make it stop, make it go away right now energy has us treating our symptoms as if they are enemies that we need to beat. Using tools to make symptoms go away or to change how we're feeling backfires for a sensitized nervous system. And ultimately, the nervous system doesn't really care what tool you use. It cares the energy that you're using the tool from. And when you're sensitized, it's really, really challenging to use tools from any other energy other than that fix it, make it go away, make it stop energy. That's why I'm really big on focusing on reducing fear first before bringing any tools in. You have to remember that when you feel something really overwhelming in your body, whether it's emotions, whether it's pain, and you go and reach for something to say, let me make this go away, you send a signal to the nervous system that says, this is a problem. It needs to go away. But I want you to imagine it kind of like a fire extinguisher. If every time something uncomfortable pops up, you reach for that fire extinguisher, the only reason we use a fire extinguisher is to put out an actual fire, is to deal with an actual problem. So tools at the beginning of this process, when you're in peak sensitization, can backfire in the sense that they reinforce that the alarm is an actual problem. The alarm is an actual fire. Because if there wasn't a fire, we wouldn't need a fire extinguisher. A lot of the work of desensitization is acting as if in advance, almost acting as if there isn't a problem to send a signal that there isn't a problem. Something to keep an eye out in the same realm of supporting yourself is a hypervigilance and a hyper-awareness of your self-care. I love self-care. I think it's very important, but I think when we struggle with chronic symptoms, we have a tendency to really lock in on making sure we have the perfect routine, the perfect tools, the perfect order, making sure that everything is right and perfect so that we can get better. We stay a little too locked into our routine and what we're doing, and consequently, what are the symptoms doing in relationship to what we're doing? We monitor that very closely, which again, the nervous system will just perceive as someone scanning for danger and therefore proving that the danger is real. Your system barely notices what you're doing. It is more interested in why you're doing it and the energy with which you're doing it. And it's pretty hard to fake the energy of, I have to escape what I'm feeling right now. And in the state of sensitization, there won't ever be a tool that heals you. The system settles when it finally feels safe, which brings me into reason number 2. You haven't accepted where you are. Your system, your symptoms, everything that you're experiencing is not going to settle while you're still fully at war with it. And you probably are for most of the day without even realizing it. It's hard not to be. And every time you feel a sensation and you brace against it, you are telling that alarm system that this sensation is real. This is a real threat. And so it stays cranked up. Acceptance is not about just being a huge fan of where you are and just loving the situation that you're in and loving what you're experiencing. And it isn't giving up either, but it is taking your hands off of this alarm, which can be hard. When an alarm is blaring, we want to turn it off. We're opening windows, we're fanning it, we're trying to do anything to say, hey, everything's okay here. But our acceptance is our ability to say, this is what I'm experiencing right now. It's okay for it to be here. It'll go away when it's ready. It'll go away when my system gets a new signal again and again and again. When we can consciously decide to stop fighting what we are feeling, the message will change, and it will change to, I'm very uncomfortable. I don't love this, but I'm not in danger. And that is what lets it come down in time. Reason number 3 is you're doing too much, too quickly, from a place of fear. Think about how you're starting your morning, checking your sleep tracker, checking your notifications, checking your emails, scanning your body, trying to meditate, trying to get that perfect plan going. But when your nervous system is really sensitized, that is like a fire hose. Getting the system to desensitize isn't about adding like 17 more things to what you're doing every day. Oftentimes, it really is about doing less of the unhelpful things, doing less of the things that are sending a signal of danger to your nervous system. And a lot of that does begin the second we open our eyes. We want less coming in, not more. The fewer like extracurricular signals that your brain has to work through, the better. And the easier it is for it to know that it is safe. So consider how you're moving through life. Create the ability to do one thing slowly with all of your attention. A sensitized nervous system is often pretty frazzled and fragmented with their attention and their energy. If nothing has been working, it doesn't mean that your system is never going to heal, but it could mean that you've been healing in a way that allows the alarm system to remain sensitized. When you combine the fighting, the resisting, the overstimulating, all of it conveys the same message, which is you are not safe. There is too much going on. It is too unsafe to relax. It is too unsafe to bring down our guard. And that is what keeps the alarm system too sensitive to shut off. But here's the good part, my friend. If your system is sensitized and not actually broken, that means it responds to what you feed it. And that is something you are in control of. Focus on the places where you are flowing your energy. Focus on the energy that you have while you do what you do. And if you are still using tools, I want you to consider the energy with which you use them. Consider the way you move through the world. Consider the way you start your day. And a really easy thing to boil it down to is this conveying a sense of safety, or is it conveying a sense of danger? And perhaps give up the quest for a better tool and focus on sending a more consistent signal. Feeling better for you may be rooted around doing less, resisting less, and letting your system over time gather enough evidence that it is safe to turn off these alarms. The perfect technique is not what's going to bring the signal down. It comes down when danger stops being reinforced constantly. I'll see you guys next time.